Donald Trump will help Ukraine to defeat Russia. Trump's team is ready to enforce a ceasefire in Ukraine within 100 days. Meanwhile, Elon Musk plans to overthrow the British government. So what is known about Trump's desire to help Ukraine to defeat Russia, and why does Trump's team ready to put more pressure on Vladimir Putin and force him to surrender? So according to Financial Times, there is a big U-turn in Donald Trump's policy on the war in Ukraine. According to this media outlet, Donald Trump's teams will not stop sending aid for Ukraine. Donald Trump's teams and Donald Trump's administration will continue to aid Ukraine, will continue to sending military assistance to Ukraine, because they do not want to look weak on the international stage. Moreover, they would like the war to be settled in the nearest future, and it is really impossible to settle the war without providing Ukraine with military support and without putting even more pressure on Russian dictator Vladimir Putin. Also, Trump's team has already delivered a big message to the European allies. This message consists of the obligation to continue supporting Ukraine. Also, Donald Trump, for the first time, has rescheduled his deadline on the ceasefire in Ukraine. He said that he would need at least 6 months to establish a ceasefire, and European allies see this as a good sign that Donald Trump is changing its stance on Ukraine and is becoming pro-Ukrainian, because support for Ukraine will be continued by the Trump's team. Also, according to the previous publication of Financial Times, Donald Trump's team has already pledged and promised to continue to support Ukraine, to put more pressure on Vladimir Putin. Moreover, Trump's team is really fears not being compared to the Biden's administration. When Biden administration failed to properly help the Afghanistan government, where there was a humiliating withdrawal from Afghanistan. So Trump's team is really does not want to have the same problems. They don't want to be compared by people with the Biden administration, which has failed to support the Afghanistan government. That's why they would not like to have. They would not like, and they will try to avoid Ukrainian defeat on the ground, because it would be really a big disaster for Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will be demonstrated as a weak leader. He would look like as a weak man, as a weak leader, if Ukraine loses this war. That's why Trump's team will continue to support Ukraine. Meanwhile, CNN reported that both sides, Ukraine and Russia, planned to conduct negotiations in this year, the year of 2025. So according to CNN, even before the US general election, Ukraine has planned to begin negotiations with Russia in the first months of the year of 2025. And that's why Biden administration continued to support Ukraine and continued to do everything they can to place Ukraine on better condition and to give Ukraine as much leverage over Russia as they could do so. So that's why Biden administration continued to support Ukraine and sending huge amount of military assistance. At the same time, Trump's special envoy for Ukraine and Russia, former US General Kit Kellogg, said that the war could be settled within 100 days. So according to Kellogg, within 100 days the war in Ukraine could be settled by his team. Moreover, Kit Kellogg said that Trump will not give anything to Vladimir Putin. He will not give any kind of presents to Vladimir Putin, because Trump wants Ukraine to save its sovereignty, and Trump wants Ukraine to have a just end of this war. And this is really big U-turn in Trump's policy. It's really a big development, because during the Trump's campaign we have heard some interesting statements from his team about the peace and about a ceasefire in Ukraine at any cost, even at cost of Ukraine's sovereignty. However, for the first time, we have heard another direction of Trump's statements. According to Donald Trump's special envoy, the war in Ukraine should be settled in Ukrainian matter, in Ukrainian interests, and also to help Ukraine to survive, to preserve its own sovereignty. That's why it was really important for Kit Kellogg to end this war on a just cause for Ukraine. Also, Reuters reported that Donald Trump is ready to personally meet Vladimir Putin to settle the war in Ukraine. He said that the meeting could happen after the January 20th, after his inauguration. Also, Kremlin also has signaled that Kremlin is ready for such negotiations between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. So stay with us and we will analyze the next moves and the next developments. At the same time, President Zelensky is also ready for a compromise. He is ready for a ceasefire in case if Ukraine is invited to join NATO and if Ukraine is provided with strong security guarantees by the United States of America. At the same time, Reuters reported about Trump's seriousness about buying Greenland. So Trump really would like to gain control over Greenland. So as we have heard, Donald Trump says that he would like to gain a control over Greenland, and it would be in the US national security interest. And for the first time, CNN reported that Trump is really serious about taking control over Greenland. However, Donald Trump says that he is not, he can really also use military means to gain control over Greenland. At the same time, CNN reported that it's really unlikely because Trump will use diplomatic and economic means to put more pressure on Denmark, to force Denmark to allow the United States to take control of Greenland. However, Denmark government really does not know why Donald Trump is so obsessed with Greenland, because there is a US military presence there. The United States has already have big military installations in Greenland. There is a big military base in Greenland. That's why the Danish government does not know why Trump is obsessed with Greenland. Moreover, it would be interesting to see any kind of pressure from the United States to Denmark, because Denmark is a big US ally. Denmark is a member of NATO as well as the United States. So let us analyze the next developments and see how this could play out in the nearest future. And in the end of our conversation, we will cover the recent statements from Elon Musk. So according to the US media, Elon Musk would like to overthrow the British government. So as we know, Elon Musk posted a lot of information about and criticized Keir Starmer for not doing enough to help the law enforcement agencies to bring to the justice, also to bring murders and bring street gangs to the justice. As we know, there is a big story that street gangs which murdered and also raped girls, they were not persecuted, they were not brought to justice, they were not brought to justice by the British government when the Keir Starmer was British prosecutor general. However, Elon Musk seems to use this really bad story, to use the story in a political way. He would like to politicize this and use his story to overthrow Keir Starmer. And also, it seems like Elon Musk is using his social media to influence the European politics. He has supported opposition government, far-right parties inside Europe, in Germany, in France, and also in the United Kingdom. And that's why Elon Musk could become more influential person rather than Donald Trump. And let us see whether Trump would like such situation to continue, and there is another person who could become as influential as Donald Trump is. So there are lots of questions on whether this big friendship between Trump and Elon Musk would continue for a while. So there are lots of for today. That's all for today. Stay with us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and glory to Ukraine.